Welcome back. Here's a quick recap. Commander Milan steps forward, voice resolute. Haben Castle supports you, Raon Zieghardt. Let us know if you ever need anything. Raon freezes, stunned by the declaration. Then, slowly, he smiles, as this was the moment he'd been waiting for. He speaks, calm yet determined. Then, there's something I'd like to ask. Milan, curious, nods. Go ahead. Raon places a hand over his chest, eyes steady. Please, spar with me before I return to my household, a request born not of pride, but purpose. The tension shifts. This isn't just a farewell, it's a test, a rite, a final spark before the next storm. If you're new here or need a refresher, I highly recommend checking out the previous chapter before diving into this one. And before we begin, a massive shout out to Sizzling Meme for the super thanks. Your support means the world. Now that we're all caught up, let's dive into this new chapter. Time continued to pass, until it was a week before graduation. Raon stood in front of the arena, reflecting on his progress. Thanks to the effect of sloth, I got used to my body growing stronger, and gained a deeper understanding of my new techniques. The benefits of sloth's ability had been immense, and Raon felt more confident than ever. Raiden, who stood outside, welcomed Raon into the arena. And as he entered, Raon thought, and today, as I leave Haben Castle, my physical condition is at its utmost peak. Milan stood in the center of the arena, ready to fulfill his promise. Raon walked towards Milan, his eyes locked onto the commander, his expression focused and determined. The spectators' cheers echoed through the arena as Raon climbed the steps into the center. You've got this, Raon. You have to defeat the commander before you leave, one of them shouted, while another voice chimed in, we believe in you. The energy was palpable, with the crowd's enthusiasm fueling Raon's determination. As Raon stood before Milan, the commander's eyes locked onto his, and he asked, are you ready? Raon's smile was confident as he replied, yes, sir, I prepared myself while you were waiting. The crowd's cheers subsided into an expectant hush, awaiting the start of the spar between Raon and Milan. Milan removed his cloak, his movements fluid and deliberate. Then we don't need to waste any more time, he said, his voice dripping with confidence. At least this won't be boring. With a swift motion, he pressed his legs into the ground, shattering the stone beneath him. As he released his aura into his sword, lightning energy crackled along the blade, imbuing it with an intense, electric power. Milan's declaration echoed through the arena, let's begin. Raon's eyes widened in awe as he took in Milan's imposing aura. So this is the master of Haben Castle. What an incredible aura. His gaze locked onto Milan, and with a confident smile, he replied, all right then. As he raised his sword, Raon charged forward, rushing towards Milan with speed and determination. I'll begin, he declared, the words bursting forth as he unleashed his attack. As Raon slashed down, Milan easily blocked the attack, their swords meeting in a sharp, metallic clash. Milan's gaze locked onto Raon's, his expression radiating confidence and a hint of curiosity. The arena erupted into a whirlwind of debris as Raon and Milan clashed, their movements lightning fast and intense. Edequil watched the battle unfold, his eyes wide with amazement. I can feel the shock waves from here, he exclaimed, his voice barely above a whisper. Tyrion's eyes were equally wide with astonishment. That's insane. He may be a prodigy, but he's still just an expert, and yet, he's able to push the commander that much? Tyrion's words trailed off as he shook his head in awe. His rate of growth and achievement is like no other. Edequil's words hung in the air. I agree as well. At that level, he's only a small step away from becoming master himself. He was worse than me when he first came here. This is ridiculous. The group's gazes were fixed on Raon, who was undergoing a transformation. A flame-like aura began to emanate from him, imbuing his movements with an intense passion and power. Meanwhile, Milan's words cut through the din of clashing steel. Your strength and speed are good, but you're not sharp enough. This isn't good enough. This is just a practice duel, but you don't actually think you can beat me like this, do you? Raon's reply came swiftly, his voice unwavering as he deflected Milan's attack. Of course not, I'm only getting started. Raon unleashed a flurry of strikes with his rapid Fang sword technique, rushing towards Milan with lightning-fast speed. Milan easily backed away from the attack, his movements fluid and effortless. As Milan backed away, Raon's eyes lit up with excitement. An opening, he thought, sensing a chance to gain the upper hand. In a swift motion, Raon clenched his left fist, and launched a powerful attack, aiming for the opening he had spotted. However, to his shock, Milan easily caught the punch, his hand closing around Raon's fist like a vice. Raon's eyes widened in horror as he stared at Milan, his mind reeling with the realization that his attack had been effortlessly countered. No way. He blocked that? Milan's counterattack sent Raon flying backward, his movements a blur as he struggled to keep up with the commander's relentless pace. As Raon stumbled back, his mind reeled with the realization that his strategy had been effortlessly countered. I thought creating an opening with a large attack would allow me to exploit it, but he blocked everything and even countered my attack, Raon thought, a mix of frustration and awe swirling in his mind. The more he fought Milan, the more Raon felt like he was in over his head. I know he's stronger than me, but he doesn't even seem a little tired. Milan's piercing gaze locked onto Raon as he asked, "You seem shocked." Raon's eyes widened slightly in surprise before he nodded, still kneeling on one knee. "Yes, it's like you can predict all my attacks," he admitted, a hint of awe in his voice. "On top of that, you're constantly exuding aura and sword energy, but you don't seem even the least bit tired." Milan's confident smile spread across his face as he explained, "My middle energy core, therein lies the difference." He placed his hand on his chest, his voice taking on a tone of authority. "Your middle energy core opens when you reach master level, letting you manipulate strong, powerful energy with only a small amount of aura." His gaze locked onto Raon's, as if emphasizing the significance of this distinction. "You're at the highest levels of an expert, but you're still not a master." Milan's smile grew wider as he declared, "You won't beat me in a fight of attrition." Raon's eyes widened in shock, his mind reeling with the implications of Milan's words. "I heard of the middle energy core before, but I've never seen one myself. To think it gives such an advantage." Raon's thoughts trailed off as he gazed at Milan, who stood tall with his sword raised, emanating a powerful aura. The sight took Raon's breath away. "So this is a master," he thought, a mix of awe and reverence washing over him. Raon's smile caught Milan off guard, and the commander's eyebrow arched in curiosity. "Why are you smiling?" he asked, his voice tinged with intrigue. Raon's proud look only grew wider as he replied, "Because I see a way forward. It makes me happy to see that there's still so much for me to achieve." Milan's gaze narrowed slightly, his expression thoughtful. "So you still push forward, even when faced with a wall?" Milan's eyes blazed with determination as he declared, "Then let me show you what you have yet to achieve." He gripped his sword tightly, and his aura erupted, surging to new heights. "My full power," he growled, his voice low and menacing. The air seemed to shatter as a massive aura explosion burst forth from Milan's body, sending debris flying in all directions. The ground trembled beneath their feet, and Raon's eyes widened in shock as he stumbled backward, his gaze fixed on Milan's imposing figure. Milan's eyes gleamed with a mix of excitement and caution as he began to explain, "The skill I'm about to show you is called the Ice Dragon's Bane, which destroyed the Ice Dragon alongside the Ice Horn Sword." Raon's eyes widened in worry, his gaze fixed intently on Milan. Milan's expression turned serious, and he continued, "I won't give it my all, but this would be the first time I've used this in a student." Milan's sword crackled with electricity as he imbued his lightning attribute into it. "Please don't die," he said, his voice laced with a hint of warning. Raon's eyes widened as he took in Milan's full power, his mind racing with the implications. "An aura that seems capable of splitting everything. It's foolish to take this attack head-on," he thought, his instincts screaming for him to dodge. But as he closed his eyes, memories of his past battles flooded his mind. He recalled the old battle with Eden's commander, and a spark of confidence ignited within him. "There's no point in being here if I just dodge that," he thought, a resolute determination settling in his heart. Raon's grip on his sword tightened as he channeled his flamey aura, his eyes locked onto Milan with determination. "This is a great opportunity for me to test my growth," he thought, a sense of confidence coursing through his veins. Milan's piercing gaze met Raon's, his voice laced with intrigue. "Is that all you've got? What is the name of that skill?" Raon's thoughts flashed back to his training in Haben Castle, and the memories of the Thousand Flames technique that had resurfaced after his fight with Sloth. With conviction, he declared, "This is the strongest skill I can show you right now, Commander. 10th flame of the Thousand Flames technique, Dragon's Breath. I call it the Dragon's Breath." The air was electric with tension as Milan declared, "Good, let us see whether your dragon wins, or my sword." With a swift motion, both pushed forward, their aura surging forward like a tidal wave. Raon matched Milan's movement, his own aura bursting forth in a fiery explosion. The two auras clashed, sending debris and smoke flying everywhere. The spectators recoiled, covering their faces from the debris, their eyes fixed on the arena with a mix of curiosity and trepidation. As the smoke billowed, Tyrion's voice rang out, "How is this much force even possible? He's facing the commander's attack head-on?" The crowd held its collective breath, waiting for the outcome. As the debris began to clear, Tyrion's question echoed through the arena. Who won? The spectators' eyes were glued to the arena, their faces etched with anticipation. As the dust settled, revealing Raon standing with his broken sword, his chest heaving with exertion, Milan stood firm, his sword still radiating the faint glow of his aura. Raon took a deep breath, his eyes never leaving Milan's, and bowed his head in respect. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to learn, he said, his voice filled with gratitude. This was my loss, Commander. The crowd erupted into cheers and chants, with some shouting "Woa," and the commander won, while others chimed in with "Good job, Raon. You almost had him, and you're amazing, Raon." The arena was filled with a deafening roar as the spectators began to chant Raon's name. One of the spectators shouted, "How's this possible?" Another one chimes in, "You're amazing, Raon." Milan's expression turned speechless, his eyes fixed on the crowd in surprise. He seemed taken aback by the outpouring of support for Raon in his own castle. The chants grew louder, with voices shouting, "You're the best, Raon." The crowd's enthusiasm was infectious, and it seemed that Raon had won over the hearts of the spectators despite losing the battle. Milan's gaze lingered on Raon, a mix of surprise and admiration on his face. What an absolutely absurd lad, he thought, recalling the intensity of their battle. I thought my aura alone would be enough to subdue him. He remembered the clash clearly, and a hint of a smile played on his lips as he thought, I even had to use protective energy. As he closed his eyes, a sense of satisfaction washed over him. My decision to support that child's journey might be the best decision I've ever made, he thought, a newfound appreciation for Raon's determination and spirit. Meanwhile, Raon waved at the spectators, basking in the adoration of the crowd. The scene was a testament to the unexpected bond forming between the commander and his young protege. Friends, this chapter comes to an end. To everyone watching, thank you for joining us on this adventure. If you're excited to see what happens next, let me know in the comments, ask for more chapters, and I'll keep them coming. If you'd like to support the channel and be part of our family, consider joining as a member. Don't forget to like and subscribe to help grow this community. Until next time, stay tuned.